All right, guys, today we're going to talk about something a little bit different than fishing. Something happened to me over the weekend. I was in a bass tournament and I spun a hub on my prop on my boat. Thankfully, a guy was right behind me and nicely took our fish to the weigh-ins. We still won a little money, but what I'm going to talk to you about is some essentials you need to have in a boat. I quickly got to the bank, got it replaced, and got back to the ramp, but I'm going to show you, what you need to have as far as a spare prop and a few simple tools that'll save you big time. I know if any of you fish or boat, you've all been stranded on the water one time or another. And me personally, I fish alone a lot. Sometimes, not much cell phone service or up a river or whatever. And it's very vital to have a spare prop and some tools to make a quick replacement if you ever hit something. So we'll head over to the boat and I'll go right through and show you everything I carry and everything you need to do a quick swap out. All right, guys, so let's just pretend we're in a little scenario and you're out fishing your day away and heading up the old lake, and all of a sudden you hit a floating log and it just completely shreds your prop. Some of you probably know how to do this, but if you're anything like me, a few years back, I was a young whippersnapper who didn't really think about being prepared when I was on the water. So some advice like this really could have helped me. But let's just imagine we hit a log and we got to change our props. So this is where I'd go from here, and this is what I'd keep in my boat. So I got this one back compartment here. Keep a few simple things in there. Old hammer. It don't have to be pretty either. A block of wood. And a spare prop. Already loaded up with a good hub. So if something happens, you can just throw it right on. And listen, this isn't a high dollar prop. This prop has been mutilated. But it's functional in an emergency. It's a good old spare, and you don't have to have a $400 prop sitting in your boat or anything. We're just weekend Joes here, just like the rest of you. So spare prop, and then I got a couple toolboxes here. I got a socket set down there, and I'll kind of show you what I carry in these couple little trays and explain to you why. Pretty simple here. This one here is just I have a Mercury prop and I have a Evinrude prop. Basically they're two different hub inserts that go inside of them. And what a hub is, it's just a plastic fitting that goes inside your prop, and what it's made to do is give away and break if you hit something hard before it tears a bunch of gears out of your lower unit or damages your prop. I mean, if you hit something hard enough, you're going to do some damage either way. But what a hub is made to break. So you always want to have a spare hub for whatever prop you're using. Even if you don't have a spare prop, carrying a spare hub at least can save you, being stranded basically. So I got a hub for a Mercury prop. I got a hub for a Evinrude prop. I got a couple spare prop nuts, a spare cotter pin. Got a couple spare vent plugs for my Mercury prop. Sometimes if one of those vent plugs fly out of your prop or something, they basically just kind of control the RPMs or whatever when you're trying to get on plane. But I've actually had props that were pretty dialed into where if one of those plugs flew out, it would just keep blowing out. So I couldn't get on plane to run, so I always carry a couple extra plugs. This one, just some random tools, a couple specific little Allen wrenches that I've had to use on my boat. Like I said, this crap's old and rusty, but in an emergency it'll work, and that's all that matters. I've got some springs for my trolling motor and stuff up here. Just fishing the past few years in these tournaments and stuff, and just fishing in general, you realize anything that can go wrong usually will. So it's always good just to have a little box of oddball junk like this. And another good thing to always carry is some zip ties. I don't have any in this compartment, but I got some in another compartment of my boat. I got some electrical connectors, old screwdrivers, and all that stuff. So like I said, don't have to be pretty. Socket set, flathead, Phillips, and maybe something to hammer and chisel, beat on stuff if you need to. Now I'm going to show you kind of like the components of the prop and how it works. Okay guys, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of like the basic components that you're always going to have when you're taking a prop off and putting it on. I'm going to actually show you how quickly you can replace that prop too here in a second, but let's just pretend this is like the prop shaft. So the first thing you always have is a spacer of some sort that goes onto the shaft. And then this is your plastic hub. You can take them in and out of your prop. I usually always have a good one in my prop, so it just slides down in there. And then this dude right here slides down in the back of the prop. So now it's locked into the hub, but remember the hub's plastic, so it's made to break. And then these teeth will catch the splines on your prop shaft and, you know, lock it all in. And then after you get that on, you know, just imagine your shaft was sticking out there. Basically, you'd throw on a washer, some type of nut with a locking device with thread on, and then there's a hole in your prop shaft. After you would have that nut locked in, you'd put a cotter pin through there and spread it out. So this is a different type of locking nut. It's like a little cover, but basically, you know, that's the brass part I showed you. There's your washer, there's your locking nut, and you see your hole in your prop shaft. You just stick your cotter pin through there, bend it in both directions, and then she's locked into place and not going anywhere. As far as actually taking a prop off your boat, say you hit something and damaged it and you need to put your spare on to get, you know, wherever you need to go. All you really need to take your prop off is an old hammer, a small block of wood, usually on a bigger motor. I don't know what for a smaller one, but mine's 1 1/16 wrench. Just find out whatever size nut is on your prop shaft. A pair of needle nose pliers, which you usually have on you. That's all you need to get it off. I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm going to put the GoPro on my chest and show you how easy it is. All right, guys, so we just wrecked our boat and we just hopped in the water back here. We got to get our prop off. I already straightened out the arms on the cotter pin, so let me adjust this a little bit for you. Step one, take that cotter pin out, and then your little lock-in deal or whatever. Now we got to get our wrench. Our 1 1/16 wrench, and we got to break our nut loose, which I don't keep it very snug, so I always just snug it up. I don't know how tight you're actually supposed to have it, but that's just the way I've always done it. And yeah, you drop it down in there like that. Next up is your washer. And then this prop has a little extra spacer on there that locks into the teeth. But after that, you're going to be ready to get your block of wood and knock your prop loose. So what we'll do from there is grab our little old hammer, block of wood. It's usually go back on the back side. It's already loose. Knock it a couple times. And your prop usually slide right off there. Just like so. There's our nut we dropped. Don't drop that in the water like I did. That's something I would do. That's why I have an extra nut in my little tackle box there. So, okay. The only other thing that's still on there is that spacer I showed you at the beginning. You usually are always going to have one of those. So A lot of times just in maintenance too, it's good to take your prop off and make sure you don't have a bunch of fishing lines stuck in there. It can make your seal go bad and cost you $300 or $400 when your lower unit seals go out. But that's how quick you can take it off. So I mean, what did that take? 2 minutes. So now I'm just going to do the reverse and act like we, so say we got our, say you don't carry a spare prop with a new hub already in it. We got that prop out. The hub in it was damaged, like this hub right here, it's damaged. So take your hammer. If you damage it, it's probably going to be kind of stuck in there. Just take your hammer and a screwdriver and kind of, if your hub's bad, just, you know, tap it out there, knock it out. And then just take your new one, slide it right back in there, and you're ready to throw your prop back on. All right, so here we go. We got our spacer, which you really never would have taken off of there from the beginning. Next up, we got our prop with our good hub in it. Slides down in there. And you got your, I don't know exactly what this is called. If you know, leave a comment so I know in the future. I'm not super mechanical. I've just learned all this stuff through trial and error and getting stranded over the years. So that slides down in. See how it slid right over the teeth? Now that thing's locked in. Get our little spacer here. Slide over those teeth. Get on there. There it is. Next up, it's our washer. Then lock it in. Throw a cotter pin back in. Oh, our nut, duh. There's our nut. So got our washer on there. Screw your nut back on there. Once you get that nut on there, I usually just take a wrench and kind of, don't over tighten it, I just kind of snug it up. It all gets locked in by this cotter pin anyway, so it can't really loosen itself. Slide that dude back over there where you can get the cotter pin started. Last steps, put your cotter pin back in. Bend out your tabs. And there you go. You're ready to go. You're back on the water. Less than probably 5 minutes. So that's it, guys. Like I said, I carry a whole spare prop because sometimes it's a pain in the butt. If you, like my motor specifically, can get debris plugged in it once in a blue moon and it actually overheats the hub and melts it. It's just a bad design on this year of a motor. But if that happens, you got to take a hammer and a screwdriver and beat on it. It's a lot easier just to have a spare hub, a good hub, and a spare prop. And it's, you know, literally like a 2-minute swap out and you're back going. So hope this helps you guys. Leave a comment if you got any advice for me or if I'm telling you to do anything wrong. Like I said, I'm not a genius, but I've had to do this a few times. I went through, I think, a 3-year stretch a while back where I hit a sandbar every year and had to do this. So I finally started just carrying a few little tools to make it easier and all that good stuff. So alright guys, we're going to wrap it up here. I just wanted to thank you all for watching. If you like our videos, please subscribe. We'll try to keep bringing some helpful things to you just with fishing in general. So hope you guys have a good day and tight lines on the water, and we'll see you soon.